Emmett Fox, in his book, Sermon on the Mount, page 147, says, "The great prayer, the Lord's Prayer, is a compact formula for the development of the soul. It is designed with the utmost care for the specific purpose, so that those who use it with understanding will experience a real change of soul. The only progress that matters is the change of soul. The mere acquisition of fresh knowledge received intellectually makes no change in the soul. The Lord's Prayer is especially designed to bring this change of the soul about." Please join me now as we enthusiastically speak these words of affirmation on the screen. I am dedicated to living my life as an instrument of agape love, and so I pray. My prayers of love deepen my relationship with the divine, which opens me to a greater flow of grace, light, spiritual wisdom, and discernment that is a blessing to all.
Beautiful. Thank you, Kristen. So December is a month just filled with holy days, as we can see, and in many different traditions. I think I counted 5 or 6 of them when I actually looked it up. And it is a time then of high vibration. And I don't know if you can feel it. I feel it. I feel that sense of so many people all over the planet connecting in this higher vision for our planet. And so these spiritual traditions then have a very common purpose, I find, and that is to transform the soul of humanity and usher in a new era of goodness and love and peace and light and joy and all of those things that make life so wonderful. And so with that common purpose in mind and the idea that of prayer being a vehicle that carries us into higher vibration, we're focusing this month then on a particular prayer, the Lord's Prayer, that was constructed by a spiritual master whose birthday we celebrate this month, and constructed in a way to transform the soul when we truly understand it. So each day this month, my intention has been to take you deeper into an understanding of what the underlying principle was, the principles, and to open our minds and our hearts to different interpretations of that same prayer. So when the scholars who looked at this prayer went back to the original Aramaic text, which is the language that Jesus spoke, they found that some of the translation, well, anyway, the Aramaic language I mentioned, as many of the other Middle Eastern languages, have multi-layers of meaning. So there can be different interpretations, yes. What I love, though, is what's coming forth is interpretations that are much more universal than maybe many of us have been exposed to. So I have a handout there that we're going to be using at the end of this message that we'll be reading from that has several of those interpretations. Today, though, I'd like to look at the one that many of us were brought up with and that we're used to. And keeping in mind, this is really the last of the series because next Sunday is going to be focused on Christmas Eve, and the one after that is the World Healing Service. So this is really the culmination of the series today. So let's deepen our understanding then in this King James Version. So it begins with, "Our Father, which art in heaven."
Yes.
I thought I heard something. Let me start again. Our Father, which art in heaven.
Yes, did you call me?
I did hear a voice. Could it be? Let me try again. Our Father, which art in heaven.
There you go again. You called me. You said, Our Father, which art in heaven. So here I am within you and responding to your call. And, as you know, the kingdom of heaven is within you, not some place that you go to. It's an exalted state of the mind in which you experience divine union. It is a return to the sanity of spiritual truth. It is the feeling you enjoy when you focus on the good, the true, and the beautiful in life. What's on your mind?
Well, I'm wanting to share with all of my friends here today in the spiritual community the soul transforming experience of Jesus' ancient prayer. So, if you truly are the voice of the divine within me, and it seems that you are, I'm listening and I would appreciate your guidance on what I can do to facilitate that. So here we go again. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Okay, so we've established that heaven is an experience or state of mind, a state of being. When I know oneness, or when I understand that idea of oneness. And I learned in a metaphysical Bible class that I took that the Aramaic word that was translated into hallowed actually means wholeness and perfection. And I also learned in that class that the word that was translated into name actually means nature. So hallowed be thy name means wholeness is thy nature. Wholeness is the nature of the divine.
Yes, that's really important because my nature is wholeness and perfection. I know nothing of separation and imperfection. I know nothing of sickness, of troubles, of sorrow, of failure, of pain, of hurt. Hallowed be thy name means my nature is altogether good, and I am the author of perfect good. And since you call me Father, implying a parent-child relationship, you must realize the tremendous significant connection here. The nature of the parent is automatically transferred to the child. It is a cosmic law that like begets like. Just like it's not possible for a rose bush to produce lilies, or for a cow to give birth to a dog, my offspring must be the same nature as I. And since my nature is wholeness and perfection, so is yours no matter how things appear. Tell your spiritual community that they are whole, perfect, and complete.
My friends, you are whole, perfect, and complete. Would you repeat that with me? I am whole, perfect, and complete. Beautiful. Okay, so here's a question that I've been wondering about. So why the word father? Why are you portrayed as masculine? I know that other spiritual traditions honor the divine feminine and use the term divine mother.
Very good point. Yes, we often say, oh, sorry, very good point. It's pretty simple. Just remember, this prayer was spoken over 2,000 years ago in a culture that used masculine terminology to mean all humanity, male and female. Even when the Science of Mind text was written in 1926, they did this. Now, you are all more aware of the impact on women of making the divine appear to be only masculine. I am happy to see that you New Thought folks are sensitive to this and choosing more gender-neutral language when possible. By the way, using gender-neutral terms, even when Holmes quotes or the Lord's Prayer, is fine. After all, I am all-inclusive of male and female. I don't really care what label you put on me. Call me father, call me mother, call me Sally, call me Howard. You know, as in the child's version, Howard be thy name? I don't care. What is important is the cosmic concept of oneness, perfect presence. That is what I am. Wholeness and perfection are my nature, and since I am with you, you are whole, perfect, and complete. I am light, I am love, and so are you. So let's continue.
Thank you. Thank you. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven.
You have come here to be an expression of heaven on earth. That's quite a goal. And you realize, of course, that it's up to you. That is to say, your work is to bring more and more peace, love, harmony, and abundance into concrete form upon this plane. Now, I don't mean just you. I mean everybody. This is what you are all here to do.
And remember, you were born to make manifest my glory that is within you. Hey, how do you like that? God quoting Marianne Williamson. My will is that you all express life fully, freely, and joyously.
It is never my will that anyone suffer. Please tell your spiritual community now that it is not my will that brings this about, but it is their sense of separation from me. It is because they forget that my nature, and therefore their nature, is whole and perfect.
They forget that I am their very breath. They forget that when they think, they are using my creative mind of infinite possibility and my creative power. If they realize the power in their thoughts, they would carefully choose them. And tell them also to listen to those creative urges within them, those deep inner knowings that they all have. Tell them that that's me talking to them. Tell them it's me trying to get their attention. But so often they just dismiss my ideas and visions for them as a pie-in-the-sky dream. What they must remember is that they bring the kingdom of heaven to earth by living fully. Of course, I will tell them all of this directly, if they would only listen.
Thank you. Okay, let's go on. Give us this day our daily bread. I have heard that the Aramaic word that was translated into bread really has a much broader and deeper meaning.
Yes, you're right. It stands for all kinds of nourishment that I provide. Physical and social nourishment like food, shelter, work, healthy relationships and spiritual nourishment as well, like ideas, visioning, insights, and solutions. I provide it all, including the creative process by which ideas come actual manifesting experiences. As it is given, when you relax, allow, trust, and follow the inner guidance I provide.
Thank you. Okay, let's do this one. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors.
All right, let's get one thing straight here. I don't forgive, for I have never condemned you or anyone. This is a universe governed by spiritual law and freedom of choice. You make choices and by law receive the consequences. There is a feedback loop that, if you understand it, will help you make better choices. I see you always as you are, pure, good, innocent, whole, and perfect, and simply learning about how life works as you make choices and experience the consequences.
You and all humanity, on the other hand, benefit from practicing forgiveness. When you don't forgive, when you hold a grudge or judgment, and the anger, resentment, guilt, and shame that go with it, wholeness and perfection have a pretty hard time expressing through and as you. As you forgive events and people in your life, you are freed from the past, freed from feelings of separation. As you forgive, you come into the present moment when you can fully experience oneness, an exalted state of love, peace, and joy. So, have you forgiven absolutely everyone? For example, what about all those involved in sexual harassment that is now so prominent in the media? Is there any forgiveness work there?
Good point.
You just prayed to forgive everyone. You just prayed to have your connection with me strengthened. Did you mean it?
Well, yes, I meant it, but this whole sexual harassment thing, can that be an exception?
I can't express as love and peace through and as you. You can't live in a heavenly state of mind here on earth if you insist on carrying bitterness inside. Now, can you?
No, you're right.
So, what are you going to do about it?
Well, I'm just going to keep working on it.
What are you going to do about it now?
Right now? Right here in the middle of the service?
Yes, this is quite important.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to think about this for a moment and people involved that I'm having a challenge with. Okay. I fully and freely forgive and release you. I let you go quickly to your good and in peace. All things are cleared up between us now and forever. I now behold you with the eyes of love, and I rejoice in your perfection. You are free, and I am free too.
There. Now, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling lighter, freer, and filled with your presence. And you know what? I think I'd like to give the spiritual community an opportunity to use that too. Oh, look, it appeared on the screen. How did you do that? That's pretty awesome. Okay, so I invite everybody in the congregation to think of anyone. It can be a political figure, it can be somebody in the entertainment industry, it can be anyone really that you still have not, that maybe you're holding some judgment about. And I invite you to use this beautiful prayer. And I'm just going to invite us all to everybody have someone in mind? Okay, so let's read this together. I fully and freely forgive and release you. I let you go to your good and in peace. All things are cleared up between us now and forever. I behold you with the eyes of love, and I rejoice in your perfection. You are free, and I am free too.
Now, how are you feeling?
Better. Everybody
That's
else?
the whole idea. You know, go with the prayer.
Okay, so next. Lead me not into temptation, but deliver me from evil.
Okay, so first of all, I never lead you into temptation. Pope Francis is actually speaking about this now. I like that Pope. The Pope said it is not a good translation because it speaks of a God who induces temptation. He added, I am the one who falls. It's not God pushing me into temptation. So this is about you being tempted to make choices that you know don't serve you or others, choices that lead to unwanted consequences. For instance, being tempted to seek love or happiness outside yourself. You know you are going down a path that leads to suffering when you hear yourself saying, I will be happy when. For example, I lose weight, have the perfect partner, get the perfect job, have enough money, have the people in government that I want, or even reach enlightenment. All the while, happiness is a choice you can make despite circumstances. There's also the temptation to choose overworking over self-care and balanced living, to stay up late and clean up your emails even though you had committed to yourself that you would get up early and work out. Or are you tempted to overload your schedule so that you hardly have any free time for spiritual practice or for friends and loved ones? Or are you tempted to give up on me and the power of prayer and meditation when you seem to be getting nowhere? Are you tempted to lose patience with another person or to think negative thoughts?
Got it. I make the choices and I reap the consequences. Right?
Right. I have never been a big fan of the word evil. People think it means some negative power separate from me. Since I am wholeness and perfection, and all that is, a negative power separate from me is just frankly impossible. The word evil is an archery term that means to miss the mark, an error in thought, word, action, based on fear or separation. So the moment you let go of the error and return to the awareness of oneness and choose love, you're back on track.
And I love it when Ernest Holm wrote, "The problem of evil will disappear when you no longer indulge in it," meaning indulging erroneous thinking. That Ernest, he was a pretty smart guy. Now finish your prayer.
For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever.
If we had these conversations more, if you would allow me to direct and guide your life, if you would keep working on that forgiveness piece,
Then my kingdom, my queendom, my power and my glory will be reflected in you and your life, right here on earth.
I say amen to that.
Yes, amen to that.
So now with this new understanding, I invite all of us to pick up the papers that you have on your chairs, and let's together read the 3 different versions of the Lord's Prayer. We'll begin with the King James Version, and then we'll end with the ones that we had the last 2 weeks that are translated from the Aramaic words of Jesus. Does everybody have one? Great. Okay, let's begin. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. O birther, father, mother of the cosmos, focus your light within me. Make it useful. Create your reign of unity now through our fiery hearts and our willing hands. Help us love beyond our ideals and help us sprout acts of compassion for all creatures. Grant what we need each day in bread and insight, which are the subsistence to grow. Untangle the knots within so that we can mend our hearts' connections to each other. Don't let surface things delude us, but free us from what holds us back from our true purpose. Out of you comes the astonishing fire and the birthing glory, giving light and sound to the cosmos. Amen. And the final one. O thou, from whom the breath of life comes, who fills all realms of sound, light, and vibration, may your light be experienced in my utmost holiest self. Your heavenly domain approaches. Let your will come true in the universe just as on earth. Give us wisdom for our daily need. Detach the fetters of faults that bind us, that we let go the guilt of others. Let us not be lost in superficial things, but let us be freed from things which keep us off our true purpose. From you comes the all-working will, the life to act, the song that beautifies all and renews itself from age to age. Sealed in trust, faith, and truth, I confirm this with my entire being, and so it is. Amen. Thank you.